welcome back to another week of Operation Evil, your favorite podcast. This is episode 44, titled Hammer Killers. I'm your host, Nyoka.
I'm Rachel.
And thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode. As always, please rate and share us with other like-minded individuals that want to be part of our Operation Evil community. Please remember that we love you always. We will be doing our book contest. We'll get that up and rolling next week with instructions on how to enter. So that will be exciting. Other than that, I don't think we have any more news unless if you do, Rachel.
Nah.
She said nah. I don't have anything. Okay, everybody. Rachel's telling this story again this week. If you missed the Patreon episode, it's because you're not a member yet and you totally should be. So check out our Patreon. The link is in the show notes. I just put out a bonus episode last week on there. What do we have, Rachel? Like 5 or 6 bonus episodes so far?
Yeah, I believe so.
As we created. What we're doing is we're putting out a new bonus episode once a month that's at least 30 minutes long. But anyway, I'm going to let Rachel take it over. Go on, girl.
Let me just add, too, that last episode that you did, the bonus episode, was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
The last 2, actually.
Thanks.
Hey, you're welcome.
I appreciate that. You guys go check it out.
Oh.
You can check it out for as little as $3 a month, and that helps us in our episode. Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry, but you sound like those old commercials. For as little as 25 cents.
For as little as 25 cents a day, you can feed this stray cat.
A nickel a day.
I know.
A stray cat.
Here we go. Instead of that, this intro is a mess. It's a mess.
It's okay. It's okay.
For as little as $3 a month. $3.
Remember today.
$3. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're still going with it.
Yep.
Remember today when Jim ate that candy and he was like hella diabetes?
Yes, that was amazing. It was funny.
I just thought of that.
Anyway.
I guess we'll get into the seriousness now.
For as little as $3.
Did you know?
I'm sorry.
Again. I think we have a delay here too.
Oh no.
So if you hear any I'm sorry. It's just like the delay is just your face is like not matching to the words. Did you know that as for little as $7 to buy a hammer, that you could buy said hammer and use it as a murder weapon?
No, I did not know that. For as little as $7.
That's what. I just made up a cost.
Oh, well, you're probably right.
That's what a lot of these. There is a lot of people that they refer to as the hammer killers. I found 2. Like, I didn't know what the heck to do for this episode, so I just started Googling things, and one thing led to another, and I came across there's people really seriously dubbed the hammer killer. I found 2 of them.
I think you're going to nail it.
You're such a stud. Okay. So this first dude, he was from Germany, my favorite place. How do you know if it's your favorite place if you've never been there?
It's just a feeling, I guess. Oh man.
You know what though? This dude was a police officer.
Okay.
He had a hat. What do you say that saying? It's like hat of all jobs or something.
Hat of all trades?
He wears many hats.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I know what you're saying.
He was a police officer, a bank robber, and a murderer.
Wow, that's an impressive resume right there.
He's a
He could commit a crime and arrest himself.
He committed some of these crimes with his own gun too.
Wow.
His own pistol. What a dummy. What an idiot.
Yeah.
His name is Norbert Polich or something. I don't know. It's German. I can't read it. Tell me how to say it, German people. Ew, does that sound disrespectful?
No.
Sorry. On with the story. I'm getting distracted. So this Norbert guy, he was known for his use of a sledgehammer and stealing his victims' car as a getaway car. So he would like come up to a person in the parking lot or like, I don't know, maybe a grocery store or whatever in the parking lot. And he would shoot them, take their car, and then go rob a bank.
Okay.
Yeah. In 1984, he shot Siegfried Fitzer and Eugene Withey on 2 separate occasions. Like, he didn't shoot them at the same time. It was like 2 different events. But he killed them the same way. He shot them both in the head, stole their car, and then went to rob a bank. He had a sledgehammer with him, and he used the sledgehammer to bash the glass, like, of the window of the teller at the bank. And then he stole the money, and then he just took off and ditched the car somewhere else. So they end up finding the car, like, later on. Then, in July of 1985, he shot Wilfred Scheider in a parking lot. He used a Walther P5 pistol, which is a pistol issued to police officers. And again, he stole the car and left it at the scene of a bank robbery. A few months later, police started to be suspicious. They were like, what do you call them? The anti-terrorist officers. They were like investigating, like a bomb or something in a railway station. I guess maybe they had got a tip or something. So they came across these lockers. It wasn't clear. Like, I don't know if the lockers were part of, maybe, you could like, how like at Kings Island, how you can rent lockers and leave your stuff in there.
Yeah. But
somehow or another, they came across these lockers and they found a police uniform in the locker. And they're like, who does this belong to? So they found out that it belonged to Norbert. And when they asked him about it, he was like, oh, I just left it there because I needed to change quickly to go to a funeral. But they kind of like investigated it and looked into it, and they found out that there was no recent deaths in his family. But, however, though, in 1984, he had a daughter that did die of cancer. So automatically I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, his daughter died of cancer in 1984. Did he begin his killing spree in 1985? Because, I mean, that was the first case that I found where actually it was 84. So like, was he so traumatized from the death of his daughter that he just started killing people and robbing banks?
Huh.
It was the same year.
Yeah.
He kind of got word that the police, like, by that October, like later that year of 1985, the police were getting really suspicious about, like, investigating him and things like that. And then the police were afraid that he would flee. So they decided, okay, well, we're going to go to his house and we're just going to, like maybe do a search or something. Well, when they entered the house, they found Norbert's wife in the bathroom. She had been shot twice in the head. And then his son, Adrian, was in one of the bedrooms, and he had been shot too. So they were both dead. Yeah. And then 3 days later, Norbert and his son Gabriel were found in a car dead in Italy. Norbert used his pistol to shoot his son, and then he turned around and killed himself. So he knew that the police was onto him, so he killed his whole family and himself.
Wow.
Yeah, I seriously just feel like that what are the odds that his daughter dies in 1984 and then he starts robbing banks in the same year? And then a year later, he takes out his whole family?
That is, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then so after that, the case was closed. They just closed the case. Like, I guess it's solved itself, more or less.
Wow.
Yeah, I would like to know, seriously, though, like people that live close to that area, like if there's any more
more to it. Yeah.
Yeah, because like when you Google it, a lot of it is in German.
Right. That's a problem for us since we can't read it, speak it.
And then I'm going to switch to a person in the United States. This person's name is Alex Ewing. He's like 61 now. About 40 years ago, he killed 3 people. Like, he broke into a family's home, killed 3 of them, and 1 survived. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. And it's just kind of to the point. It's not really of any background of any of the people. It's just kind of, like I said, to the point.
Yeah.
This happened in Denver. He murdered Patricia Smith with a hammer 6 days before murdering the Bennett family. Months later, he nearly killed a couple by beating them both with an axe. Like, actually, it was the handle of an axe. So he took the handle. I don't know if he broke it off or if he just was using the handle part of it and like beat them.
Yeah.
And then he also attacked another woman named Donna. He attacked her, beat her, and he sexually assaulted her. He hit her so hard in the head with a hammer that it affected her memory. Her husband came home to find her with this big dent in her head.
Oh my God.
I know, like, and she's laying in a pool of blood. She had to relearn how to eat, like with a fork and a knife. Wow. And then she said that if she was on the phone with someone and then she hung up and her husband was like, "Oh, who you were talking to?" She couldn't remember. She already forgot who she had been talking to.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Was that the one survivor? Or is this a whole different situation?
A whole different. She wasn't part of the family that I mentioned to begin with.
Okay.
So yeah, there was 4 separate. There was the Bennett family, Donna Holm, Patricia Smith, and then the unnamed couple. But it was all like within the same vicinity, I think. Actually, I think the couple that he beat to death, they might have lived in Nevada, because he was actually, at the time when they figured out who the killer was of all these other people, he was serving time in Nevada for the couple that he had beat to death, or almost to death, with the handle of the axe. Okay, so the other, Patricia, the Bennett family, and Donna, that all happened in Denver. So he was extradited to Denver to serve time for what he did to the Bennett family and for Patricia. With Donna, the charges had, what do you call that? The statute of limitations had already expired.
Oh.
So, yeah, that sucks. It took almost 40 years, though, to charge and convict Alex for what he did to the Bennett family. The mother, her name was Deborah. Bruce was the father. And they were in their 20s, like later 20s, like around 26, 27.
Young.
Yeah. They had a 3-year-old daughter named Vanessa. She was the survivor. And then they had a 7-year-old daughter, Melissa. It was said that he sexually assaulted the 7-year-old.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. And I believe he stabbed all of them, is how he ultimately killed them and beat them with a hammer. In 2002, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, they were able to link the two, like the DNA that was found at Patricia's crime scene. They found out that that DNA was the same DNA found at the Bennett family residence. It was semen, is how they got their, and I believe saliva, but it was semen is how they connected. They knew it was the same person. So, like I said before, Alex was serving time in Nevada, excuse me, for the beating of the couple. That was like in 2018. So I think we've discussed this before with another case where, like, when you go into prison, they do the DNA swab
of
the prisoners, and then they enter that into a database. I think it was the railroad killer was partly how they connected him to all these other things. But anyways, they found out at the time, like in 2002, Colorado, they knew they had two of the same DNA matches or whatever from two different crime scenes, but they didn't have a name. So when Nevada prison entered the DNA into the database, then they got a name. And this detective in Aurora, Colorado, he commissioned a sketch artist and created like a DNA profiler to come up with a possible last name. He was using like the genealogy websites, and he came up with the name Ewing.
What? Really?
Yes, isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
Yeah, so he just was like, it sounds like he was just like stepping outside of the box, you know, with different alternatives. Yeah, so they got his name, they extradited him back to Colorado. Here is a list of a warrant was issued, and according to court records, the warrants carry 18 total counts. 3 counts of first-degree murder after deliberation, 3 counts of felony murder, 1 count of attempted first-degree murder after deliberation, 2 counts of aggravated sex assault, 1 count of assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts of sex assault on a child, 1 count first-degree burglary with a weapon, 3 sentence enhancers for a violent crime causing death, and 2 sentence enhancers for a violent crime involving a weapon. So once he got to Denver, he actually went through 2 trials. The first trial was for the Bennett family, where he was sentenced to 3 life sentences. Vanessa, the survivor, she said, this is a quote from her, I didn't just lose my parents and sister, she said in court. According to this, it was like the news people who were interviewing her. I lost trust in people. I lost my dignity and my pride. I lost the person who I was supposed to be. I lost my sanity. I look in the mirror every day at myself and I hate who I am. Oh. I hate what I have to go through and what I still go through. I hope that he goes away forever. Oh,
I wonder, did he sexually assault her too? Do we know?
You know what? I wondered that too, because she was 3?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't see anything about that, but
I was just wondering, like, I don't know. I'm surprised that he let anyone live.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, I guess, you know, she was pretty close to death. I believe I think I read something that said that when he left, you know, he just thought she was dead. But I don't know the details of, like, Well, I do know this. The mother, Bruce's mother, so the grandmother of Vanessa, she discovered the bodies after her son and Deborah didn't show up for work. So, like, was that little 3-year-old girl in the house like all night, all day, like all by herself? Like,
yeah,
what the hell? But I don't know what the time frame was. Like, I mean, you figure the next day they didn't show up for work. Maybe who knows what time frame it was.
that's so sad.
I know. And Connie said, which is the grandmother of Vanessa, or yeah, well, she of Vanessa and Melissa. She's the, like I said, the mother of Bruce. She said at the sentencing, she said, some people may call him an animal, but I won't, because I think animals have a purpose in this world.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Yeah. And I wanted to read this other quote too. Vanessa said, I'm sure my parents and sister were great people, but it's unfortunate I don't remember anything about them. And I think that's sad too. Like, he stole everything from her.
He did. I mean, she was lucky to live, but she was so young. How could she have memories? I don't have memories of being that age that I can. I don't think I can come up with the memory that early.
No, I mean, on one hand, it's like, hopefully, you know, she doesn't remember any of the attack.
Yeah, that's very sad.
About 2 months after that trial, they had sentenced him. Then it was time for Patricia Smith's trial, and he was given another life sentence. And I mean, his lawyer was trying to declare a mistrial and all this stuff. It was just ridiculous. Like, he thinks that like I guess he thinks he was set up. It's ridiculous because let me skip ahead and find this one part.
Yeah, he was set up to do all the things that he did. No.
Yeah, he said, like, it was, where is it? He said I guess I didn't write it in there. He said something about how, like, you just want a conviction, not the real person. You're just trying to pin it on me. But yet his DNA, his semen is at these locations. Yeah. How did it get there then?
I think he forgot about that part.
Yeah. And then, like I was saying, how, you know, the charges they weren't filed for Donna because of the statute of limitations. They did talk about a kidnapping charge, but Ron, Donna's husband, he didn't want to put his wife through all that. They did go to the closing arguments at the Bennett trial, though. So they were there in support, and I guess, you know, just to get closure for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him on that because he's already being sentenced for, you know, to life anyway.
Yeah. And then, so I've got one more little quick story. This is like literally very quick because I just kind of like came across it when I was looking at other stuff. There was these young guy, and I'm just going to kind of read from this. It is an article that was published by Simon Fern from LAD Bible Menu. It's like a news source. Ukrainian serial killers Viktor Sanko and Igor, I'm not even going to attempt the last name, collectively referred to as this word is in Ukraine, maniacs, brutally murdered 21 victims in less than a month and recorded their crimes in grisly videos, yet many are unaware of their horrific deeds. These guys look so young. In February 2009, Viktor and Igor were sentenced to life imprisonment. Viktor was found guilty of 21 murders, Igor of 18. The killers, who met at school, smashed their victims' heads with metal rods. In some cases, brutalizing their bodies to such an extent that it was difficult to identify them.
Wow.
They're like so young.
And unhinged.
Yeah. It says that local media at the time, as reported by local media at the time of the pair's arrest in 2007, the then Ukrainian Deputy Minister for Internal Affairs said, "It is rather difficult to say about the motives. The murders were more like fun or hunting. In some cases, they videotaped what they were doing. Most notably, the pair were behind infamous viral snuff video, 3 Guys, 1 Hammer.
Ooh.
Their month-long grisly killing spree reportedly came about as a twisted attempt to deal with their respective phobias. Phobias for what? Igor tried to deal with a severe fear of heights by hanging off of the railings of a 14th floor apartment for hours and looking down. Meanwhile, the pair's friend and accomplice in 2 robberies, but not the murders, Alexander, had a phobia of blood, which Victor suggested treating by torturing animals. The pair claimed their first human victim in June 2007, a 33-year-old, attacked from behind with hammers. An hour after the first killing, they also attacked Roman Todorovic, smashing his head open after they found him sleeping on a bench. My goodness.
I don't even know what to say about that.
No. It said bodies continued to pile up rapidly until the pair attacked 2 14-year-old boys, and one of them managed to escape. His name was Vadim, Vadim. Although police initially suspected Vadim of murdering his friend, they suspected him? He was able to give a description of the killers. A few days later, another of Victor and Igor's murders was witnessed by locals who gave a description of matching Vadim's. So, like, they had a second description of what they look like. Victor and Igor were eventually arrested on July 23rd after they were caught trying to sell a phone they'd stolen from one of their murder victims in a pawn shop. Following a 2009 court case, the pair were sentenced to life imprisonment.
And I hope they never get out.
Did you look these dudes up?
No. Are you going to post pictures?
Yeah, they've got to be in their 20s. This article was wrote in June of 2021. Yeah, I'll put that link in there too. They just look like typical young guys that you'd see just every day.
Well, all that was crazy.
Like,
I don't even know what to say. I'm just like,
I know.
Like each story got worse and worse.
Oh, that makes me think of what was her name? Was it Susan? Badass Susan, where she was being attacked by a hammer and she fought her attacker off.
I don't know. Did we cover that?
I don't think we did, but she was on I Survived.
Oh.
You remember her? Her ex-husband had hired a man to kill her. Morbid did an episode.
Oh. I would probably know the story then if
we might have covered her.
I don't know.
It was early on if we did.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, she was a nurse. She had come home from work. She was a trauma nurse. She had come home from work. She was estranged from her husband. I think they were in the process of divorcing. She saw someone in the dark come out from behind her door and he started attacking her. And she took him down. She ended up killing him. And they found like a book bag or something down in the basement, like where he had been staying or the ex-husband had been staying. And she beat the crap out of him. She was like choking him and was like, "Tell me who sent you."
Good. You know what? That does sound familiar.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah, I remember because Morbid, like, they were like, she's a badass.
Maybe that's where I heard the story. It was more, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because I think you told me about it, and then I remembered her from I Survived.
Yeah, that does sound familiar. Oh my gosh. And that's sad that we've gone through so many stories that were like, they kind of
Can't keep track.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That was a good
Plus,
one.
it's almost 8:00 and your brain is about to shut down.
It really is. Because we're recording this on a Friday, and Rachel knows at the end of the week on a Friday, I'm no good. I start to get sleepy and drool on myself by like 9 p.m. It's not good.
If we weren't recording and she didn't have to wait for me, then she would have already be like dozing off, like sitting on the couch dozing off.
This is true.
Like, we've made some bets on how long it takes for her to start drooling because she's out of it.
Yeah. It's so bad. Fridays are bad times. Well, thanks for this awesome stories, not just one story, stories.
It was a struggle this week.
She's, let me tell you, Rachel's had quite a week this week.
This week can go straight to hell.
Yeah. It's been one thing after another, after another, after another.
It could be worse though, right?
It could. But the week is done and you can start anew.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we got for you this week. Thanks again for listening. And we'll be back next week with a new episode. I don't know what it will be on yet. Well, I kind of do.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, I thought you had someone in mind or something.
I actually do have something in mind, but you guys will just have to wait and wait and see when I tell it.
I like some Nyoka stories.
Oh, I like some Rachel stories. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
That's all we got for you. We'll talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.